see a heavy steel door. The man ponders his cooking utensils and gives you a little nod, acknowledging your presence. You see a set of tire tracks in the brown slush that covers the plaza mosaic. Cop habit. You look at everything. This isn't case-related, you think. Hard to say. The tire tracks were left here by an unknown event that took place some days ago. It's a message, written in the language of burnt rubber. Some of that rubber stuck to the tiles right in front of the whirling in rags. This is point A. The driver started there, and then accelerated straight into the fence, left a hole big enough for the Franco-Nigerian cavalry. The driver proceeded to back out of the yard, barely stopping before hitting the adjacent building. Before heading south, must have been in a hurry.
You are correct. This is a rather motor carriage-friendly city. I'm not sure. There are plenty of traffic accidents waiting to happen in Martinez, with a jam right here on the roundabout.
You could follow the track south. There seems to be a canal there. See where they went. If you This panel usually closes the water lock. You pull the lever all the way up until the metal clicks again. Nothing happens. A spring brings the lever back to its original position. You still need to close the water. Wasn't there a sign over there saying functionality will be restored on Wednesday morning?
G'day to you, officers. It's supposed to operate the water lock, but as noted, it's all junk right now. Disabled because of the safety measure. Turns out the panel needs a special key to be reactivated. Wouldn't want anyone... It'll be restarted on Wednesday morning. You want to do the honors when the time comes? Great! Just drop in on Wednesday if you want to see the water lock at work. They say the canal crew will be here at 7:15.
The coast part of the map is inaccessible until the third day.
Does Kuno care? The fuck about it? Kuno doesn't give a shit about the armor. Kuno's fuck gimp's got one big thing wrong with him. Look at him. fucking growth hormone shit. He's a giant. The Kuno doesn't give a shit about that freak armor. Kuno threw that shit away. Kuno tried to get the helmet on. It was too big. Kuno kicked that shit in the sea, rugby style. That shit means nothing to Kuno. Yeah, that shit means nothing to Kuno. Kuno doesn't give a shit. You wanna fuck on someone about that armor? Go fuck the mustached union fuck. The jolly troubadour shit at the gate. Yeah, cock and boot. You know that jolly union cow fucker? Came around talking about cows or some shit? Came around pretending like he...
Yes, you met him at the gates. The one with the boots and the jolly...
Yeah, he's the one you want to talk to. He's fucking crazy about that armor shit. Coming here pretending like he likes...
Curious, my liege. Why did Kuno feed you this information? Yes, pray pardon, sire. Better to let it be.
You're testing Kuno. Get lost! Kuno doesn't...
Hola, wandering man. How can I help you? The little boy had a good on his promise. To get me into trouble. To sick the pigs on me, pardon the choice.
What happened?
I was asked to look into that armor situation. Official Union probe, you know. Track it down, see who took it.
Did you?
At first I thought, why not? Maybe the pieces can feed the strike. Buy us a few more days under the sun, you know? So I went to this boy. He said he'll make me his prison bitch. He's got eyes everywhere, and the cops in his pocket, and he's the king of Jamrock. Serves me right for doing menial footwork. I dropped that probe right then and there, and it still got me into trouble. One bad move is all it takes. I learned that people don't want to talk to a drunk Union man about some armor.
What else?
Not much. Technical stuff mostly. That was the interesting part. I did some research into this armadura. Let's say I have friends at the library. I didn't get into the material science, just how it comes off.
How does it come off?
In parts. 4 in total. The helmet was the first to go. The kid says he tore it off and kicked it into the sea. I believe him. The boots were still on the guy last I saw. Too hard to remove. So, as I count, there are 2 parts missing. The gauntlets and the cuirass. This is where I left off. Too much hassle. More like a job for some militia. Oh, they're just gone. They don't exist anymore, if they ever did at all. Forget about them. I did.
All of it? There are junior officers out there, eager to prove themselves.
It's implied. He finds it unlikely that...
And Mesky is epic there, all across Martinez. I hope it will be a real bonanza for you. No problem. If you see that kid, thank him from Call Me Mañana. Thank him for showing me the way.
The unpromising race pupil returns. There is nothing funky about them. I cannot possibly imagine what else we have to discuss.
I think this...
That will be the...
He will grant us 3 wishes.
Your pedomorphic friend has quick wits. A protruding occiput.
The lieutenant does not.
You should keep him close. The congenital defect of farsightedness does not render him a
The already familiar. This is the night. You're back before the cargo container. Its draw has not lessened since you were last here. If anything,
Mr. Dubois, every worker, member of the board. How can I help you today? I don't know what that means, Harry, but I love it. I love your initiative. Knowing you're out there keeping things running, don't even tell me what was going on. Alcoholic brew, stronger, stopped it, strike. I'm just gonna let you surprise me, Harry.
So? North Jamrock? Kuno meant everything north of 881. The rooster fucked Kuno's words up. Kuno doesn't do south.
Kuno sent your fat ass running around like jello!
Look, pig. Kuno sent you to rough some people up. Kuno played you. That happened. Now you and Kuno should move on. You got fucked. You got fucked, pig. Fucked bad. Of course you're gonna remember this. Now get the fuck after this shit. You better have something real interesting to say if you want to stay in Kuno.
Yeah, real interesting.
Kuno doesn't fucking care.
What do you see?
The man before you is naked, but for a pair of underpants and white boots.
Yes, we do. Someone else? You mean like the police? Someone like a paid garbage man? Or a cleaning crew? I have bad news. I know it's hard, but I assure you, the others won't come to help us. And we have a growing sanitary...
He breathed.
Oh yeah, do this shit! Fuck it up!
The lieutenant's brow is furrowed. He appears too deep in concentration to even notice what you said. Silence, and produces a lightweight firearm. He drops a paper cartridge in the barrel, separates the scouring stick, and gives the cartridge 5 tucks, securing it in place. That's a Kiel A9090 Armistice, mass-produced muzzle. He then steps back and assumes the fellow's desk position, taking aim. The corner of his eye twitches. His finger is on.
He's gonna fucking miss!
The kid's voice is drowned in a shrill blast that...
God damn it.
A lot of things were wrong with that shot.
Fucking idiot! Mookaba asshole!
Kuno could have hit it easy, but then Kuno's not fucking handicapped, is he?
I have to say, it's beginning to look unlikely.
You know, you don't feel like too bad of a shot yourself.
It's bad as it is. Go ahead. I'm not stopping you. Just...
This is the sorriest pit.
Yeah, take it, you fucking banana boyka! Take it and shoot yourself in the mouth!
The cold piece of bakelite and gunmetal is surprisingly light. Your fingers fit right through the guard.
The fuck are you waiting for, Kuno? Tell him to shoot himself in the mouth!
The buckle comes into focus in your sights.
Why don't you just shoot yourself in your mouth? At least you won't miss. Do it! Set me free!
don't.
Do it!
Intense shit, copper.
Could waved his gun! It wasn't intense, it was pathetic!
You'll feel the slow movement of...
Look, he's crying! You gonna cry now, fucking faggoty?
The buckle explodes into tiny pieces, coming loose with a whir. With your hand numb from the recoil, you look at the body slumped down. For a moment, the man appears to kneel, looking straight at you, helpless, trapped with communism. It takes a millisecond for the association to flash within your cortex. You have no idea where it's coming from. Then, the rigor in his muscles gives up, and he smashes sideways into the spring mud, letting out a horrid stench.
Ace is high.
The Ace is High, a custom invented by the aerostatic brigades during the revolution, is used to celebrate success in Revachol, especially in sports. The gesture is spread across the world. The lieutenant takes a little hop to perform the customary salutation. Your palm hurts from the slap.
I knew these guys were f***ed.
Officer, let's keep our attention on the... We will perform a field autopsy and determine the cause of death. But before... Excuse me.
Slumped on the ground like that has not improved the way the corpse smells. The fall seems to have released something deep.
It looks like I feel like taking a break from the stench. I'm sorry to interrupt the jubilations here. Just a little breather before we do the autopsy. I would suggest we interview Everard and Joyce, the leader of the Union and the Wild Pines rep, but we've already done that, so it's up to you, detective. Take us where we need to be.
The rotting man lies on his side with his eyes looking straight through you. The lieutenant adjusts his glasses and takes a deep breath.
Come on, officer. You know what a field autopsy is. You've done 100 of them.
What you do know is, at 18.9 kilometers, the dormant shield volcano, Corpus Mundi, is the world's highest summit, and the failure of the 38 single, Epui Descent, to crack the top 20 was the...
Unfortunately, no. They are better than nothing. Tell you what, I perform the anatomical side of things while you will take notes. That's right.
Yeah, we got this. We're smart. The rotting man, the lieutenant adjusts his glasses and takes a deep breath. The dead man stares in silence as you crack open the ledger. The bright red paper is covered in boxes and lists. Above those, an 11-field info form needs filling out first.
That's you.
The corpse is indifferent to your scribblings, just lies there. The next box,
KK57 dash.
KK equals Kim Kitsuragi. 57 equals Precinct 57, followed by his date. That's because he doesn't want to bring up the messy question of your initials.
Next. NA. Next. NA. Roughly 50.
Try 40. The damage is so extensive, it's better to err on the young side. He nods.
Mondial.
Fair to olive-skinned, from the Isola of Mundi. This is as vague as it gets. You might as well say, the pudgy mess of curdled meat looks neither mondial nor anything
Fucky!
Male.
Pigs can have sex!
Nor does he look male, with his pregnant belly and...
We're still going with March 4th. 51. What else? 9. Body identified by is non-applicable. 10.
KK 57 0503 0815 listens motionless.
None. At least not after the initial examination. Interfering with the body's position or wounds post-mortem. They'd have to have incapacitated and carried him over. This man was more than a match for untrained dogwalkers.
Your central nervous system recognizes this gesture. It's the stations of the breath. Ecclesiastic, religious in nature, a holdout from pre-DeLorean burial rites. It takes him 2 seconds to perform. Somewhere in Jamrock North, a small wood shed behind Rosencrantz Row, Lieutenant Nick Feuerbach puts his hand to the chest of a small corpse, no larger than a monkey. It's raining outside, light drizzle. Elsewhere yet, an obese female sits in a wicker chair, her silhouette bull-like against the window. Outside, Grand Coudon. The day is turning dim for Sergeant Mac Dawson. Hand extended, and so, all across Jamrock, Coal City, GRIH, 42
We should start the post-mortem.
The corpse cannot feel Kim's hand on his chest. It no longer meaningfully interacts with its surroundings. A thicket of boxes and lists on red copier paper tries to answer why.
Clothes. The deceased wears armored boots and white briefs. The make of the briefs is Babrodine, I think. Let's see.
See, it's happening.
Babrodine, yes. Inexpensive. Size.
The disappointment is palpable. The red-haired thing was expecting something more lurid.
The rest of the clothes have been removed post-mortem by scavengers in order to get to the victim's ceramic armor. Officers are in search of the missing pieces. Removal.
It would be clever of you to omit the boots altogether, sire. If you are to keep them for yourself, as you ought to, you have deserved them. More patience. After the autopsy, before the body is taken away, there will be a window of opportunity. After the lieutenant has gone to sleep. I hope this has helped you, my liege.
The boot has a serial number. It's E50.100.100. The lines between the plates are in the shape of the tattoos. The upper torso is covered in a single continuous tattoo, resembling a national pattern. The assistant has a color photograph of the markings, to be added to the case files as document A1. The deceased has a belt for airlifting cargo around his neck, tied with a hangman's knot. Well-nourished, athletically built, measuring 1.8 meters. Generally consistent with age 42. Preservation is good. Body hair is light brown. Distribution is consistent with age. The deceased had male pattern baldness. Hair is combed back, short.
The hair under your latex fingers feels cold to touch, wet. The stench is suffocating. Strands of dark brown. There must be brilliantine in there. He's combed his hair back with oil.
Lividity is consistent with hanging. The head is congested. Contusions are present on the head, chest, and thighs. Consistent with stones thrown post-mortem.
Fucking low velocity? You think Kuno doesn't know what you're talking about? Velocity was fucking max. Talking shit about Kuno's velocity.
In addition, there are bite marks on the face, scalp, and chest. Consistent with predation. Ligature mark. The steel wiring. There's too much of it. We need to remove the belt so we can get to the ligature mark.
You got just the right tool for that. The chain cutters.
Always good to think ahead. Now, we need to cut the belt to see the ligature mark below.
See? My pig is gonna fuck his head off.
No, he ain't. Your pig's a boring fuck.
The belt is equally tight around the whole circumference of his neck, swelling over the edges. The knot is the weak spot. The chain cutters fit in there, steady now, like a flower arranger. 2 cuts and it should come loose. After some deliberation, you sink the cutters into the knot tying the belt together. You squeeze the rubber handles together, sweat forming. Snap! The knot is slashed. Another cut and the belt falls apart like a flower bouquet, revealing the dead man's neck.
The rope rises to a point, leaving a gap in the ligature mark. The suspension point is in the back of the neck. Hemorrhaging is observed on the skin, above and below the ligature mark. The mark is well pronounced, consistent with a drop from 1 or 1.5 meters. Chest is intact, normal contour. Abdomen is protuberant, pelvis intact, genitalia.
No! Let's get out and see!
I fucking knew it!
Genitalia is male and unremarkable. No evidence of injury.
The dead man's penis is average-sized, congested from the downward collection of blood. The testicles are uneven in length, hanging underneath. The
Back is symmetrical and intact. Upper and lower extremities are intact, but asymmetrical. There are combat injuries on the right hand, thigh, and hip. In addition, I see smaller, residual scars, too numerous to count, covering.
From wounds sustained over 2, maybe more decades, dispersal and accumulation indicates long and active combat duty.
We have a real museum here. Last item, hands.
The hand feels heavy, filled with decay liquids, like it's ready to explode if squeezed hard enough. You're suddenly repulsed.
Hands are clean. No sign of injury from struggling. I was. Maybe I'm just not seeing them. Honestly, the stench is... Ooh. That's all for the external. Well done. What next? Central nervous system. I have nothing. Do you have anything on this man's central nervous system?
Of course, there is a moral to be drawn from it. A moral to this story.
What would that be?
The dead man looks, too, with barely contained excitement to hear the moral of his...
I think that may well be the moral of every story, officer. Good. Musculoskeletal. Purge fluid is coming from the mouth. Not injury-related. Eyes and tongue protuberant.
With his eyes almost closed, the lieutenant puts his hand on the dead man's throat and begins to massage it. You hear cracks as the lieutenant moves his sharp fingers inside the flesh.
Yeah, jack that fucker off!
The hyoid bone is fractured. The rest of the musculoskeletal system is intact. Unremarkable. Respiratory system. Oral cavity shows no lesions. The victim has received dental implants, possibly after a combat wound. Mouth swollen. Hemorrhaging present in mucus.
No scream, no sigh of relief rises from the darkness inside. It's hard. Once more, you taste stomach acid in the back of your throat. A contraction. Your throat pumps a little something. Inside, you see darkness.
Hemorrhaging present in mucus. Hepatobiliary, NA. Are you a hepatobiliary expert?
Hepato means liver, and biliary, the gallbladder and bile ducts.
Same for toxicology and serology, NA. Cardiovascular. The body exhibits heavy lividity. Blood has gathered in the hands, feet, and neck. Gastrointestinal.
This will do.
Digested semi-solid food in stomach. Voila. What's next on the list? Let's see. We have bite marks, contusions on the head and chest, and a ligature mark encircling the neck. You'll need...
Be thorough. if you want maximum results.
Head, chest, and scalp bite mark. And your opinion, officer? Agreed. Next injury? So, the scalp bleeds from a post-mortem head injury, a stone. The injury does not have the...
At maximum velocity, fuck.
Has confessed to causing it at maximum velocity.
Coagulated blood sticks to his scalp and chest, where the countless stones have hit the dead.
Right. Next. A dark red abraded ligature mark encircling the neck, with a gap on the nape measuring, let's say, 7 centimeters. I see hemorrhaging on the skin, above and below the ligature mark.
Below the note, 2 customary boxes wait to be ticked. The man's head jerks to the side. Think for a moment. There's time. Don't rush.
That's it. We have established cause of death. It's not much, and it leaves much to be questioned. Let's wrap this up. I pronounce this field autopsy over. Well, we established probable cause of death. Some would say that's the goal of an autopsy. We were thorough with the list of injuries too. We described them all in detail. What is there to say? Given the circumstances, it was a professional feat. I need a copy of that autopsy form. Then I will drive him to Faubourg for processing.
You tilt your head, also looking at the... I'm sure we didn't get everything. There's always something.
Shoot, Looney Rooney. Come back later, Corporal. Amuse yourself.
Jamais vu. Derealization. Jamais vu. The opposite of déjà vu. Not already seen, but never seen. Everything that should be familiar appears strange and new, like some half-forgotten day in your childhood. Only now. That's the feeling you've been having. And for who knows how long. You should go and ask Joyce Messier about this. What